Okay, so what do? Well, yesterday we took this gun apart, the 1891 TS Carbine. It was made in 1906, and what I did was, first, I washed it with soap and water, and then this morning, after it was dry, I gave it a light sanding. Not hard enough to get rid of all the character, but you can still read the serial number and all that stamped into it and any other marks that were there. I never want to go ahead and totally clean it up so it looks like it's brand new, because it's not brand new. It's over 100 years old. 114, I think. Well, no, 114, no, more than that. 116 years old, I take it back. So after 116 years, you have a lot of character built into the wood, so you don't want to go ahead and destroy it. So I've sanded both pieces down, so they both look about the same, and that's about like that. And of course, we washed or cleaned the barrel yesterday, and the bluing is perfectly fine underneath the barrel. So all I'm going to have to redo is I'm going to use some cold blue on this and touch it up, and that's it for that one. The only thing I'll have to do more bluing on would be the trigger guard assembly here, and then also the bolt itself. But other than that, the barrel and all that is going to be fine. And what am I going to do with the stock, though? Well, there's two methods you could use. You could use some kind of a sealer like this stuff called Linseed, and you just put it on there. And what it does is it'll dry hard later on. Well, don't think I want that. So I'm going to use boiled linseed oil. That's what this is. And this is an expensive little bottle. You don't need to use a lot. But with this, if you can ever get it open, because it's stuck, it always just does this too. Hold on. Okay. I took my handy dandy pair of pliers to open this thing. It was so stuck, you can see why. Take a look at the threads on the bottle. That's why. But yeah, you don't need a lot of this stuff. Let's see. I use this. Doesn't need a whole lot, but it does go a long way, actually. You don't flood the thing with it, but if you look, this thing will soak this oil right up, so it may take more than one coat anyway. You can see I'm not putting much on there. It'll bring the wood right out. You'll see the grain and everything else with it this way. Before, it was just too dirty. It was just mostly dirt. That's all it was. But boiled linseed oil has been used for, years. Years and years and years. I remember my uncle, who I bought a lot of rifles from, he was on the Veterans of Foreign Wars rifle team, and when he did his rifles, that's what he used. He used to use boiled linseed oil. That's where I found out that from, actually. He told me, he says, yeah, go ahead, boiled linseed oil. And even my dad said the same thing, because my dad had worked on rifles and stuff. Although, one rifle I wish I didn't give to my youngest brother, because he wanted something of my dad's. And I had a 30-06 model 1903 that my dad that I had sporterized for my dad. Well, not really sporterized, but I had cleaned it up. It had the original stocks on it. And he had bought it, get this, mail order back in 1951. He bought it for like $16, which I guess was a lot then, but back in 1950, my dad was making like $51 a week at work, so back then. But anyway, he got this at the TS Carcano Arsenal, and they shipped it directly from the arsenal to his house. Back then, there was no such thing as, you know, you didn't need a federal firearms license or anything else, because they always took as face value that the Second Amendment was the Second Amendment, and you didn't have to go ahead and legislate anything or do anything about it, because it's written in the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. So back then, things were a lot simpler. Now, of course, all the liberals get in and they get it, or they get all up in arms because of all the crime they've caused, and they want to get rid of everybody's guns. Well, and back in, you had the 1968 Gun Control Act, that came out. One before that was the one back in 1934, which up until that time, even normal people could own a machine gun. That's why a lot of the gangsters had Tommy guns and everything else, because before 1934, well shoot, you just go to the gun store, buy one and walk out, and that was it. It was no big deal. Well, of course, the feds got involved in that, and they didn't want to go ahead and have Tommy guns in the hands of the regular people or even the gangsters or anybody. So that's when they first started regulating it in 1934. Then the Gun Control Act, 1968, showed up, and they added more restrictions. And now with stupid Biden in charge now, oh yeah, he's going to go ahead and prevent all this stuff. He's going to prevent crime and everything. Only problem is, he caused it all. He caused all the crime. What do I mean by that? Simple. The increase in crime, if you look, has increased since he took office 125%. Because why? The criminal element is coming across the border. More in droves, more than they ever were. Of course, Biden is... Well, my battery died right in the middle of that. Where'd you know? So I have no idea where I stopped. But anyway. Okay. Now, see, already that's picking up a nice shine to it. And I gotta do this one. But anyway, so this is one of those methods that's been used for years and years and years. I have no idea how long it's been used, but there we go. And it's just oil. Actually, if you want to go right back to it, what it actually is comes from flax. That's where linseed oil comes from a flax plant. And what they do is they boil the stuff, and that's how you end up with boiled linseed oil. But it's really flax. A flax plant is what it comes from. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Well, there we go. And that's only one coat. One coat of oil. That's all there is. So you're going to let that soak in, and that'll be it for that. So, here we are. I'm just going to leave that there, and we'll come back later and we'll try that again, see what it looks like. So, that's it for now.